dance like there's no yesterday.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the His Point Her View podcast, episode 40. I'm here with my co-host, Katina.
Hello.
How are you doing, ma'am? How are you doing?
Hey, I'm here. How are you?
Oh, you got muted for a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have an interesting topic today. Something brought up by Katina about men in gaming. And I feel like this topic is going to expand just beyond just men in gaming. But tell us why, what happened, so people can understand where this came from. Oh.
Well, so the other day I was on social media. I think I was on Facebook, and one of the guys on my Facebook page, he asked the question, how can grown-ass men sit up all day and play games when they could be doing something else? So, because I'm not a gamer, but I do enjoy playing video games, or I used to enjoy playing video games. I don't have a system now. Um, but I thought that was very different because normally, even if someone doesn't game or doesn't participate in certain things, they don't normally try to, put people out on Front Street about it. So I just thought that it was an interesting topic and like, what is the deal? I understand that it can be challenging and you're trying to get to the next level, but that was a good question of, and not necessarily the way he put it, but I just thought that was very different to ask, you know, what is it about gaming that makes somebody want to sit and play? And I know some people are going to say, yeah, how can they play the same game over and over and over and over and over? Or how can they sit and try to get through the same thing? But I mean, yeah, if I think about it, I probably could say that I sit on my phone and try to beat certain levels of certain games too. So it's kind of like I just thought it was very, very inquisitive. So I thought that it would be a good topic. So boom, there you go. There you have it.
Okay, so people know me knows that I am a quote unquote grown man. I'm a grown kid, actually. No, it's something I saw on Twitter. Sorry.
Oh,
Which shows you no. This is just me being the grown kid that I am. Which we'll probably get it later. I have to send you this. I'll send you why I like did that, and then you're gonna be like, "Fuck you," I'm sure. But anyway,
as long as it's not that porn.
No.
Okay, great.
I don't get that like excited in that way about porn.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just hey, I don't know.
Give me some credit now. I am sort of mature.
Okay, I mean, rock with it, roll with it.
Anyway, I love video games. I've been playing video games since I was 6 years old. First video game system was the Atari 2600. Shows you how old I am, people. I've been playing video games since video games started to become popular in culture. And I always found the question of like, why can a grown man play games very, very interesting. Because it's never been something that I felt like was strange. And I guess that's because I'm into the culture. It's kind of weird though, because growing up, of course, back in our day, all video game players were complete nerds. You know, everybody basically. Whoa, why am I hearing myself twice? That sounds weird. Oh. Did your headphones go dead or something? Oh, anyway, there. Let's stop. Must have been me. Anyway, Um, no, everybody pretty much felt that you were like nerds, social rejects, all that stuff. So, it's weird. Can you hear me twice?
Yes.
Why can you hear me twice? That's very strange. I feel like I don't know what it is. Anyway, to continue, you know, it's always been something that I've always heard people complain about, especially like now that everybody plays video games. Mostly people play Madden, NBA 2K, and I can understand why it could be frustrating to some people, because there are people who don't know when to quit, when to stop, or when to take, especially in a relationship. Now, is this friend with someone who plays games more than he'll spend time with her?
This is actually a man that asked the question, so I don't know. He doesn't play games. From
But he has a is it was it well, okay. What's the dynamics of his relationship, or is he just asking just to ask?
I think he was just asking just to ask. I don't think his
Okay, so
girlfriend is a gamer, and I don't think
okay,
he participates in the gaming.
okay. So then he's just coming from a place where someone who's not into something,
All
therefore
right.
he can't understand. And that's the biggest problem when you're not into something and you refuse to try to understand it. You make questions like that, because as far as you're concerned, it's stupid because you don't do it, or it's just not interesting enough because you don't do it. But it's just like any other hobby. Like I'm sure he has hobbies that he indulges in and spends quite a lot of time doing. And I'm sure there's someone out there who's like, why do you do that as much as you do? You know?
Right.
Um, I mean, it's really no difference. Now, I know a lot of people feel like video games for kids, and they're not, especially if you actually play video games today. In fact, I highly encourage you to keep your kids away from a lot of video games until they're old enough to understand, because video games have evolved into something more like movies where they tell serious, deep stories. I could tell you about quite a few video games where I've gotten emotionally moved several times, like I was watching. You know, so hell, I just got finished playing Spider-Man, and I wanted to cry at the end because of what happened.
Did he die?
No, he didn't die.
Oh.
No, he didn't die.
Okay.
But some very, very powerful, emotional things and very sad things happened. I won't spoil that because I'm doing the spoiler cast, of course, with my friend Cardiacsumo about this tomorrow. So
So tune
expect
into
about
their
it.
podcast.
Yes, it's tune into the podcast that we do for that, because that should be interesting. I feel like we're gonna go hours on that, but no, I mean that's the easier way to explain it is to probably have questions, because I know you probably have some questions about
Well,
gaming.
well, I don't know. I guess I understand it because, or I kind of understand it because to me, it's no different than how do you spend so much time on Facebook? How do you spend so much time on social media? How do you spend so much time at the gym? How do you spend like, it's different strokes for different folks. So, because it's that way, I don't don't really have issue with it as much as, and I don't think he really had an issue. I think it was just a question, and maybe from lack of knowledge, because I know that when I had the Wii and the PlayStation, and then we had the Xbox, and like I know for my son can disappear for days just to play the game. So I just figured that it's like anything else. They become addicted, or they're trying to get to a certain point in the game, and because they're trying to get to that certain point, then nothing else at that point really matters because they're trying to get to that point. So I get it. But like, what keeps you going back day after day? Because me, yes, I'll spend hours on a game, but eventually I'll get to the point where I'll be like, you know what? I spent enough time on this. Okay, no, I didn't capture the flag or whatever. Up on to the next thing. And then I'm going on to something different. So I guess the question then would be, what keeps you motivated to keep going back over and over and over to get those things done?
Well, sometimes it's not just about getting those things done. I mean, there's multiple reasons why you keep going back to play games. Like for the crowd who just plays stuff like NBA 2K, Madden, sports games.
I mean, that's the same difference, though, to me, if you ask me. I mean, that's
Oh no,
the
but there are some slight variants into it because it's like, for one, a lot of people don't realize that video games are a very big social network. Video games are one of the first big social media outlets that were out there when the original Xbox first came out. And they started online gaming, and they invented online game chat where you can actually speak to the people that you're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people use it as a social setting. So converse, talk about things. You know, as I told you when we were before we started recording this, I actually know people who've started like marriages through gaming. They've met their wives or husbands just randomly playing games like Call of Duty, things like that. You know, it is more of a social thing nowadays. It's a relaxing thing for sure. It may not seem that way, especially the way we act sometimes towards a game. Like I know for me, if I'm playing the multiplayer game, I suck at those. But if I'm playing it because me screaming at the screen does something to just release like a lot of negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy playing it with people that I know. It's a place where you like easily you can stay connected with friends, especially if you have a lot of friends that are long distance. A lot of people use it as a way of getting up with people they've known for a long time. You know, family members, things like that. It's something that you both enjoy doing, and you get to spend time with each other. It's like you going to the movies with your girlfriend, or hanging out with your best buddies at a bar. Instead, you hang out on the video game. You know, so there's that. Some people get into it because they like the challenge of it. Just being able to complete tasks. You know, there's people who are very, very competitive in nature, and that's something that they're good at. So it scratches that competitive itch for a lot of people too. I know for someone like me, I'm mainly into like storytelling, and games kind of become books and movies for me because of the way that a lot of the games I play usually have deep, long, rich stories that have like a lot of human emotion and things like that. You know, the game is definitely not about the blood and the guts and all of that stuff that people think it is, the violence that people try to peg on it. You know, I find like for me, gaming is a rich place to find good storytelling and interesting like ideas, just as much as movies. Just so that's what keeps me coming back and back. You know, just wanted to see more of it, explore and the worlds and stuff like that they create. Because I think I'm a creative minded person, and I like to see other creative things. That's why I tend to hang around very creative people in my life. I think because I love create people who love to be creative. Um, so it draws me. I mean, it's a lot of things. I mean, and it's its own social cultural subset too. A lot of people don't understand that gaming it has a huge social network where people do all types of crazy things that are not that far different from different other social groups, but seem that way because video games, I guess. I don't know. It's because it's a stereotype of video games.
What's the stereotype?
Well, you know, again, like I said, like people think that you're geeky or you're antisocial, maybe. You're not good with other people in person and stuff like that. You know, some of that stuff can be true for some people because there are people who kind of hide into the gaming. If you're socially awkward, the gaming can kind of make you feel normal in a sense. I definitely can see that because it's like a safe space. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody seeks a safe space, so gaming can be that for some people. But at the same time, you see people like Snoop. I mean, I follow football players that follow gaming personalities and know all of this. Like, if you're a gamer, you probably know this, or somebody who's really into gaming like me, you know this. There's this guy, like we were talking about Twitch earlier. Just for people who don't know what Twitch is, Twitch is a live stream platform where people mainly live stream themselves playing video games, interact with people live on the internet. It's a very lucrative business, by the way. The particular person that I'm going to speak about, his name is Ninja. He plays a game called Fortnite. He makes roughly estimated about $500,000 a month live streaming.
What?
So yes. So don't ever say playing games is a dumb hobby, because this man makes bank just playing a video game.
Wow,
So
$500,000 just from playing
a month. Keep that in mind. This is like average gross a month.
Wow.
Because he gets it from fan subscriptions, donations from people. People donate money. He has a bunch of promotions that he do. He has a lot of endorsements as well. He does a lot of charity work, so he's tied into a lot of things like that. That gets him. He was on ESPN the other day, by the way, and he is on this current month's edition of ESPN the magazine. First time a video game person has ever been on ESPN the magazine, because esports is big business. I mean, look at it again. Like I said, there's a lot of social subculture in gaming, and that includes like financially too, because you can be a professional gamer. They generally make about $60,000 to $80,000 a year with benefits just to play gaming tournaments. So, there's a lot to game. I mean, sometimes that's what people's goals are. That's why they spend so much time, is that they're trying to build up themselves on YouTube or on Twitch to start to profit off of their gaming and to live a lifestyle where you sit at home, play games for 4 to 8 hours, and then you get a large check at the end of the month. So
wow.
you have that. But this particular person, he kind of set people on fire, and he kind of like made people realize that gaming isn't just like a subset for nerds and all that, because he was Drake tweeted him and asked him if he could play with him one day. And they set it up. Him and Drake got on and they played online live. He had like about 600,000 people watching him and Drake play at one time. And you started to see a lot of football players. I mean, this guy's played with Drake. He's played with like Pittsburgh Steelers players, played with other rappers like Lil Yachty, Lil Xan, DJ Marshmello is somebody he plays with. Like, all these celebrities flock to him. And then you find out there's a lot of celebrities, like Paul George has his own like gaming guild on Destiny. There's another top basketball player, Ben Simmons. He's infamously known for telling other basketball players to don't worry about playing basketball. We need to play these games. It's like gaming is huge. It's a big part of the pop culture. So it's something that's just in the normal rotation of going to the movies, reading a book, listening to music, play games. And it's a great social setting for you to meet some cool people if you want to. It can be very toxic as well, of course, like everything, just like any social media. You have the people who want to be racist. um, the sexist people, especially towards women. Women get a hard time when it comes to gaming. Women get it really bad, to be quite in fact, which is kind of sad. Especially when you consider like most of those people feel like this is a place where they feel like they're included and they don't want to include, they want to exclude people because of gender. So, any more questions?
Oh wow.
Because I'm sure this is like
What do
more
you
stuff.
think the attitude is for women in gaming?
It's poison. Um, no, it is really poison. Like before the like Me Too stuff started, there were cases in gaming where like you can make an argument that you can. Well, I'm not saying this is as bad as Me Too, but there are incidents that have happened where like this one lady was stalked, and her ex-boyfriends like smeared her all into all over the internet. I've heard of stuff like people exposing their girlfriends' pictures, girl gamers like pictures they sent the guys and all of that because they were mad at them. A lot of guys seem prone to um, denigrate women because they don't think women can play games or they're not good at games or that they should be playing games. And then, of course, there's the sexuality thing of it. Like going back to Twitch, there have been female live streamers who've used their bodies to kind of promote themselves in ways, or at least people felt they were doing that. And it started this whole subculture where men just attack women like off the random, thinking they're only trying to appeal to people because of their breasts and stuff like that. And then, of course, if you're a good girl, if you're a quote unquote good girl gamer who beats a lot of guys, of course, the first thing you want to say is you're an ugly bitch, and that's why you playing games because no guy wants you and stuff like that. It can get fucking messy. But there are a lot of good, like I know a lot of female gamers, and I know a lot of positive female gamers who do a lot of good things. Do a lot of good things on Twitch, YouTube. Lady Infamous comes to mind as one. Woman called 55. Yes, I know the name of these people because I do watch Twitch. People, I'm a nerd. Sue me. Um, she's one. You know, things like there's positives and people. Not everybody is toxic towards women, but I feel like social media brings that out on everybody, and it's no different when it comes to gaming. Because I feel like social media tends to let people feel like they can say whatever they want when they want without any repercussions, which we all know isn't true. But people are emboldened on social media, definitely. And gaming is no different. Like I kind of wish they would get rid of the whole girl gamer tag because it's like if you're a gamer, you're a gamer. Well, who cares if you're a girl or not? You know.
Right. Wow. Do you find that sometimes people block out the girls or the women?
Say that again. Oh, you broke up.
Sometimes the women are events that a man would just automatically be invited to or participate in.
I say that one more time because it keeps cutting out for some reason. My headphones must be
I
messing up.
don't know why. I said, do you see girls being excluded that a guy would automatically be included in like tournaments or things like that?
A lot of women actually do get excluded from them. It was funny because you mentioned that because there was a controversy. This game formed a league, and they were recruiting the best players in the game. And one of the best players in the world happens to be a girl, but they didn't grab her on the team. And people were like, well, why didn't you grab her? And they were trying to make up all these excuses as to why she shouldn't be there, all that. And it was like, but I thought you wanted the best players. Pretty much it was just them just grabbing men, the guys. And then, of course, the people who were fans of the guys were like, well, she shouldn't be there because this, that. They, of course, make excuses. I won't get into the gaming excuses because most of you probably wouldn't understand half the gibberish that I would say. But it was like, bottom line, she got excluded until finally there was a big enough push from people who were like, why are you being sexist? And then they let her join. But you'll find that most of the times you don't see a lot of women get included in these team event type things, which is a shame, because there are a lot of women out there who are really good. Like a friend of mine I play with, I tell her all the time, you're really, really good and I suck and I'm dead weight to you. And you really shouldn't play with me. She doesn't think she's good, but she's good. Especially at sniping in games. Like, I wish I could snipe in games.
Wow.
But yeah, and it's even in like media stuff. Like you get the incident I was talking about where it got really toxic. That lady was a reporter that had the drama with the ex-boyfriend. People don't like female game writers. Like, it's like, what the hell is wrong with you? And all that. I mean, it mirrors a lot of what we see in society where people don't want to be more inclusive. And it also includes race too, because people will be very, very racist.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
the N-word flies a hell of a lot. Because if you sound black and you're whipping somebody's ass and they can like speak on the mic, they'll throw the N-word out in a heartbeat.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So basically, which I find this kind of remarkable because you would think that certain things would make you come together because it's so few. Like I know that I have a friend that is gay, and something that he said, shout out to Potts, is that even in the gay community, you have like white, black. I mean, you still have discrimination within the discriminated group, and which it kind of makes sense because you see discrimination within the black community, and you're
Yes.
thinking, we all got the same plight, so to speak. But then in the end, you see people saying, things like, oh, she thinks she's cute, or the colorism, where it's light skin versus dark skin. So in the gaming industry, it's just a micro civilization of the world, which makes perfect sense. But girls, I would say that I would have expected the girls to be kind of excluded because it's kind of a good old boy club. But wow, the racism, I would not want my kid
And I
to
mean,
be.
to be fair, there are a lot of people who are very, very inclusive. I mean, it's not. It again, it kind of mirrors society because as bad as it can be, you can't say that it's that's the entire reflection of the gaming community. It's just everything has its bad element, and people, no matter where you go, there's going to be that bad element.
Definitely.
Which sucks, very much so. But no, so yeah, no, gaming. It's just another cultural thing that we do. It's not that big of a deal. I can get deeper, but I'll say that for another episode because then I'll get extra nerdy.
Mm-hmm.
Am I nerdy enough? Just like with that tweet I just sent you. This is a prime example of how nerdy I am.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What do I want to know about gaming?
I wish you lived close because I would love to like see if you would play certain games. I wouldn't try to get you to get anything blood like bloody, shooty, all that. But there's games like this one called Detroit Become Human that I think you would like a lot.
Hey, I'm all for shooting somebody in between the eyes in a game.
Yeah, I know you're violent, but
I'm not violent. I'm just all for, shooting folks in between the eyes. Um, hmm. Are they online games?
what, the ones that I want you to play?
Mm-hmm.
Some might be, some aren't. Like I said, I play a lot of. I'm generally not an online gamer myself. I like to play a lot of story-driven, single player games.
Hmm.
Stuff where you can see relationship building and like just tell me a good story. Like I like online gaming. I like the shooting stuff and all that. But
So kind of like The Sims.
I do play The Sims. I still play The Sims. I actually do have The Sims on my computer. But names I could throw out you probably wouldn't recognize, like Uncharted, action adventure, stuff like that. The Spider-Man game, of course. Of course, I play superhero games because I like superheroes stuff. I will play the online shooting games like Battlefield, Destiny. I haven't played it in a long time, but I used to put hours. That was a game that I remember the first Destiny. I think my total hours ended up being about 28 days worth of gameplay. Maybe
Wow.
more. Yeah. Yeah, maybe more. I pretty much played the game enough to like wasted a whole month of my life. It was great. um, you know, I do play some sports games, particularly baseball. Can't watch baseball for shit, but I can play a sports baseball video game for hours. Um, just stuff like that. I mean, I play all types of games. I will jump across the spectrum. I don't care. I just like playing games.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I do find the ones that have engaging stories or that touch on interesting topics, yeah, very cool. Especially when they started getting deep into real social stuff like sexuality and race, stuff like that. That's when it gets really good.
So they have games like that?
Yeah. hmm Yeah. Like the Detroit Become Human game is kind of a social commentary game that challenges like the idea of what makes you deserve rights or be treated as something that someone or something that's alive. This is a game based around androids. How we're getting a lot of artificial life now, and they bring that question to bear. What's the name of that game? It's something about this dad who has a daughter, but is actually gay, and it's about his romantic life in the new neighborhood that he moves in. It's a pretty interesting game.
Mm.
Hellblade deals with a lot of mental and issues, like having like certain mental problems, because the main character is like basically going through a lot of mental problems, and you're playing through her uh, like spiral into her issues. It's pretty cool. I mean, like gaming is not like, again, it can be very, very much so equal to movies and books and things like that in certain areas, and those are areas. That's why those are the type of games that I tend to enjoy the most. That go there.
Hmm. Interesting. Now, I'm sure that I would like some games. Um, I do know that I particularly enjoyed Um, playing like The Sims. I like playing on the Wii. Not necessarily gaming in the sense that it is now, because for me, I like stuff like Miss Pac-Man and things like that. So
I haven't played that in a while.
I
I
guess
should
I
play
would be
that.
considered an old
But no, they
school.
have new Pac-Man games. They have Pac-Man Championships, which is awesome. Yeah, they still put out Pac-Man games.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they
Of
still
course.
had that game.
Mm-hmm.
I Oh, now you make me want a gaming system.
I mean, it's a fun thing to have if you like games. Like I said, there's different people have to realize that there's different flavors, and you don't have to just play the stuff that people always talk about. 'Cause I could make you a list of games that I think that you would probably enjoy.
Hmm. Hmm. Maybe one day I'll get a gaming system and
Yeah, become a nerd like me.
I'm already a nerd, but
Well, I said like me, not your type of nerd. You can stay your type of nerd. Your nerd is cute.
whatever.
What? It's a compliment.
Yeah, it's
I
most
love
people.
I love nerds.
Well, most people don't care for nerds for some reason.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I think that should be another topic all on its own. Being a black nerd,
Mm-hmm.
especially. Because yeah, nerds are great.
Well, I mean, most people don't understand or don't care or don't whatever, but being a black nerd is especially hard. Most people, because of the stigma, and I think it has a lot to do with, back then when they, or even now when they say that we're not smart, we're not intelligent, we're not capable of doing certain things, knowing certain things or whatever. So, but, no, no, no. I love my nerddom. I own it. I appreciate it. Like all of that. So
And you should. People
yeah,
should
I love
too.
being a nerd. Like it's hilarious whenever I'm talking to somebody and they're like, "Oh, you're so whatever. What are you learning? What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. Then I'm like, "Yeah, I read books on cybersecurity." What? Really? Why? And I always want to ask them, "Well, what do you read books on?" Oh, such and such. Really? Why? Like I always want to do that, but of course I don't. But to me, it's like, why is I mean, I guess it's the same as gaming. Why are people so intrigued when you are interested in something that they aren't? Or
Right.
so I do have a question with the gaming. Um, do you feel like that it's become more inclusive? Like I know that girls are excluded from certain things, and then you still have the race thing. But do you think that it has gotten more inclusive over the years, or do you feel like it's kind of like stand still? What do you think?
I think it's more inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think in part because with all the little like nuances that are bad about it, like the whole girl thing, at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, gamers have always kind of it's one of the things I could say that most gamers I know is that all we want people to do is just to accept that, hey, this is just something that we find cool, that can be cool. Maybe you might find it cool, but
Or not.
accept that it's what we do, you know?
Right.
So seeing stuff like the guy play with Drake kind of turns on the gaming community a lot, because it's like, see,
Of
you look
course.
at Drake as like this normal person, where you look at us as like abnormal people, and this normal person is doing something that you find makes us abnormal. It's not, and that's the thing. I think because it's becoming more popular among people in
Celebrities.
like celebrity, or just people in general, are playing games in some way, in any capacity, in any form, even if it's on your mobile phone or whatever. It helps because, I mean, it's always been the bone that I picked. That, again, growing up when I was younger, I was a pariah. Now I've seen people that I have like on Facebook never would hang out on with me in high school. But if I mention a game on my Facebook, they'll hit me up and they'll have a conversation with me. You know, back then, it wasn't
y'all
cool.
didn't want me.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Mike Jones thing.
Yeah.
With game, and that's how gaming actually does epitomize what that Mike Jones line is. Back then, they didn't want me, and now it's hot. They all on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely like that. So it's weird, and you get a lot of gamers that get resentful too, the fact that you got all these other famous people, because of the fact that, hey, yeah, when I thought it was cool back and told y'all it was cool, y'all told me I was stupid. Now everybody thinks it's cool. Now you want to be all a part of this.
Yeah. I think that's just about with just about anything, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you end up like it's people want to be a part of what is popular or what is hot right now, so that they can jump on that train. And not that that's a bad thing, because it's not, but I mean, it's like, okay, being your own person is no longer where it's at, so to speak. Like now, people used to say, I'm an individual, I don't need anybody to do such and such, blah, blah. But now it's kind of like, okay, well, this is hot. Well, let me run over here and jump on this.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna, I mean, it's still within the gaming vein, but it's shifting gears just a little bit. You said you know a few people that have found their mates, their spouses, they've gotten married or whatever.
Yeah.
Through the gaming community.
Mm-hmm.
So do men, like, I know women aren't seen as like the go-tos, but I would think that if a guy found out that a girl was a gamer, then she'd be more accepted within that community, because she's a freaking unicorn, basically.
You know, to a lot of people, at least a lot of people I know, that's how she's treated. It's like, wow, like, it's funny because me and Cardiac has had this conversation before where we joked about like
finding your wives in the gaming center.
Well, how rare is to find a woman who would be into that type of stuff, like gaming, and how now you tend to see it a lot surface more on the internet. Like, you start to see there's a lot of girls out there. I shouldn't say girls either. I should say women who game, are into females who are into gaming and things like that. And we always lament, it's like, well, back when we were in high school and we were like like trying to find something, like, where were y'all? Like, were y'all just hiding? Like, 'cause y'all was scared or something? Like, hello. Yeah. But you see a lot more women play it. So, it's wild. I mean, I feel like the people who aren't inclusive are just the jerks. Anyway, the jerks are gonna be jerks.
Of course.
That's just. I hate to say this, but it seems like that's just the natural progression of of men just to find a way to do something to denigrate women. Like, come on, like seriously.
All right, good people. Mike said it.
It's hard to fight. It's hard to fight that. No, seriously, but it's something that you see. Look at the media and look at all the stories that you come out, and you have to be very honest with yourself that it's very, very hard to deny the fact that the male subculture is disgusting and it needs fixing ASAP. And gaming is no other thing. And again, it goes up to the inclusive thing that we were talking about earlier. It's like, I feel how it's so stupid that there are dudes out there who want to clown and go at female gamers when you know how it is to be the person clowned. Again, you've been the oppressed or whatever, however you want to put it. Why are you being an oppressor now? It's the dumbest thing. But don't be mad that the girl beats you at a game because some people are better at games than you. That's just it. She better than you. Accept it.
And I think that is probably a lot of the issues with some of the men not liking the girls, is that they're afraid of the competition. They're afraid of her, out gaming them. And then it's kind of like, oh, you let a girl beat you?
But the people I've met that have had relationships spawn through gaming, they like that shit. They like that they're better. They admire them for that. And they kind of like that they play the same things. They do the same thing. They can have a conversation with them and they can feel comfortable. They can be themselves around them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? I can rock with that. I mean, it's kind of like being in the cybersecurity. It's amazing when I can have the conversation and it's like, oh, did you hear about that threat or that denial of service attack or whatever? And then they're like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah, and then we can discuss it versus, oh, did you hear about that attack? Oh, where? In Yemen? And then you're like, no. So, I mean, I get it. You want to have a conversation with somebody where you have something in common with them. Totally get it.
Yeah. And to be honest, when it comes to relationships, like for me, you don't have to be into gaming for me to date you. It's all about understanding.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get smart.
Why you want to get smart? Wait, what?
Clearly, because so and so and so and so were clearly not gamers.
They like to play games.
Okay. Yeah, they certainly do.
Just not the type of games I like to play. But no, you don't have to be. The one thing that I always tell people is that you don't have to necessarily like all the hobbies that someone that you are attracted to like. You should try to understand them at least. Yeah. At least see where they're coming from with it, and then maybe you can learn to accept it a little bit more. Like if it's something that you just can't accept, that's fine. But
I would just say that as a female that doesn't necessarily game, I wouldn't say that I was married to a gamer. But he loves to play games on different systems, and it's not like it's 9 times or 10 to 20 hours a day, but I mean, I believe in giving him his space and allowing him to play his games, or just allowing anybody. So
yeah.
So So I can't see dating someone and saying, "Oh my gosh, you're playing games entirely too much." So we are done. That's
Yeah,
that's crazy.
and truth be told, if you're with somebody who puts in more time gaming than they do with their relationship, it's not games, it's them. They're clearly not as into the relationship as you think they are. Because if anybody who's into a serious relationship where they truly care about somebody, they adjust. And like everybody, we all like adjust things, and we all you know adapt to each other. If we truly care about someone, you're not just going to be like, well, I love you, but you know me and my boys got to run through this you know raid right now on Destiny, so I'll call you in a few days or something like that. You're not going to do that. If anything, you're going to at least have a conversation about it. At least I think. At least I would hope so, that you wouldn't just dismiss your mate for a goddamn video game.
Yeah. I mean, well, hey, listen. That is a very good point. Interesting. Interesting point.
Hmm. It's just like a lot of people who game for a living, do the live stream thing that I was talking about. They are married, but they schedule their gaming between certain times, and then they'd be like, "Yo, I'm gone. It's time to be with the family. I'll see y'all next day because this is family time." You know what I mean? They have priorities. They have their priorities in order.
Mm, true.
So, yes. Any other questions, ma'am?
This has been eye opening. Oh, I do have a question. Do you think that the best gamer in the world is truly a woman? Just she isn't getting her due?
Good question. um, See, the whole quote unquote best gamer thing is kind of a subjective thing
Subjective.
anyway, to
I
me.
know. Hmm.
Especially since there's so many different genres of games and stuff like that. Like, for the most part, if it's a single player competitive game, it's mainly been men. But it may be that just maybe it doesn't interest enough women for that women to step up and be the best, because I'm sure they could be. Like I was saying with that girl for that team, it's this game called Overwatch, and she's really really good with a particular character, a tank character, and a lot of people consider her one of the best. But of course, people try to knock her down because they don't like the character she used, so they feel like she's having an unfair advantage because they feel like her character's cheap. But then they do that with guys too. So, but yeah, I can't see it not happening. I would love to see it happen just to see how people lose their shit. Because especially these days, since everything with a woman nowadays, people seem to want to lose their shit when a woman gets props or something, especially on Twitter. Um, so I would love to see like the quote unquote like say best Mortal Kombat gamer like knock off again. I'm a nerd. I know these people. Knock off the best guy in the business for that game. Yeah. Like I would love to see what would happen if Sonic Fox got destroyed in Injustice by a female. The world would lose their mind.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Well,
Of course, ladies, make sure if you're gonna like try to be the best gamer, do it before you're 28, please.
hmm
And I always say that because they said there's some scientific research that says by the time people reach the age of 28, they start to lose their twitch reflexes, or their twitch reflexes go down a step. So And twitch reflexes are important in gaming. I should know because that's why I suck at it. At 42.
Wow. Wow.
My fingers don't move as fast as they used to. Especially since I do a lot of stuff on computers. That carpal tunnel starts to set in.
Oh boy. Right. Yeah. I see. Well, thank you for educating. Is amazing. Respect for the gamers. Well, I guess I do have some more questions though. What do you think what game out right now it, or is coming out was the most anticipated of this year? What game out or in the future do you think was the hardest to master? Well, now or previously or coming out, do you think would be the hardest to master? And do you think that gaming is just in you, or is it something that can be learned? And go.
Okay. So first one, most anticipated. There's always a most anticipated. Hard to always say what is the like. I guess for this year, we've already had two games that were highly anticipated come out. God of War and Spider-Man. Both were excellent. The next highly anticipated game is, of course, Red Dead Redemption 2. And I can't wait for that either. That'll be another spoiler cast for me and Cardiac, maybe. I don't know if he's getting in or not. We'll see. But what was the second question again? What was hard to master? You still there? Oh, you muted yourself. And she's gone. Okay, so second question was, what was the hardest game to master, correct?
Yep.
I will say the hardest game to master are either roguelikes or like Metrovania roguelikes or Souls type games. And this is gaming jargon. So for those who don't know, Metrovania roguelikes are games where you can progress through them just fine, but if you die, you get sent all the way back to go and have to go back over everything again and rebuild everything all over. Yeah,
that sucks.
That sucks. Like, you need to run through that shit. If you don't get that perfect, you have to damn near perfect run it to win it. Souls games are basically games where you have like super hard boss fights that you have to learn crazy timing and techniques in order to take down the bosses. It gets easier after you figure everything out, but when you're trying to figure stuff out, it's hard. And what makes that hard is like you kind of lose. You don't lose everything, but you lose a lot of stuff, and you have to go back and recapture that. And the only place you can recapture it at is at the boss fight. So you got to get back to the place, get your stuff, and then try to beat the boss again, or you're gonna lose it again, and you got to go all over it again. It's just like,
oh man,
yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah, I don't play neither one of those type of games, although I do kind of like roguelikes. But Souls type games, no, we don't touch those. We don't touch those at all. Because I tried one, and I should send you the video clip of the one that I tried and how bad it went on the first time I played it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, there's some hard ass fucking game out there. And the third question was about gaming. Can it be taught? Everybody can learn how to play differently. Honestly, games now teach you anyway, because a lot of games start you off with tutorial sections. Pretty much the first, I would say 10% of most games, if not 20%, is all about learning the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of like try to soft shoe people in. And you have difficult levels, of course, so you don't have to play at the most difficult level. I never play at the most difficult level because I ain't that hard. I know I'm not that much of a badass. But you can set it down. I mean, and a lot of the stuff, like the stuff that I play, will have settings low enough to where like they just want you to get through the story. If that's all you want to do, is you just want to see the story and get through it, you can. And then there's a lot of games where the learning mechanics are much more easier because they're games that are kind of like choice games. Like Detroit Becoming Human is more of the choices you make reflect the outcome. So you can take different paths and make different choices and go back and replay the choices and see how it comes out and stuff like that. Or like
That sounds
Telltale
fun.
games. Yeah. Like, and they compare you like what you do to what everybody else who plays done. So you can see if you did the same thing other people did, see what your friends did, things like that. It's very interesting. So yeah. No. Gaming is something like if you want to get into it, it's not a hard entry because you don't have to like start off like Billy Badass getting online and trying to compete
Kill
with people.
everybody and
Yeah.
hmm. Hmm. Maybe I'll try one day.
That's why I say I wish you were closer because I would love to like have you try some of the stuff I've played.
I am going. You know what? That's gonna be my next fun thing to try to do. Is I'm going to not necessarily master, but learn how to play a game or two. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'd say you got a fairly recent PC, right?
A fairly recent who?
PC computer.
Who?
Yes, a Mac is a computer. It is a computer. Stop acting like it's not a personal computer. You just put a name on it. God damn it.
Whoa, okay. I was gonna say because
Jesus.
some people when they say PC, they're talking about Windows
I'm
devices.
using generally the term that's supposed to be
Oh,
used for computers that people have eschewed.
ew, 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 ew. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know,
Yeah. I would suggest looking for Telltale games. Those are games that allow you to like walk through the story and make choices to see how the outcome comes.
okay,
These have
yeah,
some
yeah,
very interesting games. Huh?
yeah. I can definitely do that. But I thought you were like, like, okay, you got a PC. Nah,
No, I'm
this
not
one
telling
got.
you to go get because they do. Contrary to belief, games do come out on Mac. Not many, but they do.
Well, I was gonna say no. Your sis is definitely not. Um,
And you can run
it,
Windows on your Mac anyway if you really needed to, because they're good
yeah,
enough to do that.
yeah. I mean, I have the program to do it. I just,
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. I know. You're
yeah,
in the lead. I know.
just yeah.
Whatever.
Windows makes me get the highs.
If I wasn't that much
But
into
I mean,
gaming, I would say I wouldn't be into Windows like that. And that's the real reason why Windows maintains a part of
oh, I can
my
definitely
existence.
believe that. Um, because I mean, man, what?
Whatever. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but what I will say is that I definitely, ugh. Yeah.
Steve Jobs has just corrupted you.
No, and you know what? And I tell people this all the time. But we've had this discussion. You know that I'm big into Macs. It has nothing to do with, you know, it necessarily being a better quality product, even though I do believe that it is, depending upon which PC you purchase. Because there are some really nice PCs that are out there that are inexpensive that can get the job done. Um, but for someone who wants to achieve certain things and be in certain type of industries, I just believe that Macs are better. If you just, all you're doing is typing up your papers and your business is just limited word processing, some spreadsheets, a couple of PowerPoints, and yeah, get a PC. Save your coins. But if you're doing like programming, graphic design, anything STEM related, You're probably gonna need that. You're probably gonna need a
I
Mac.
agree. I totally agree. And that's what I tell people all the time when they ask me, because Macs are better for that stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I mean, um, just like some people are like, oh my gosh, um, there's no way that I would pay that for a Mac. And back in the day, I remember saying the same exact thing. Like I'd be like, y'all crazy for buying a computer that costs that much, and you can get a PC. I can build you a PC for what a Mac costs, and like I was that chick, and I remember doing that. But things,
See, I like building PCs. That's the thing.
see, and like I thought about, seeing if I can have a PC built like, but mm, mm, no. And trust me, it pains me when I have to purchase a new Mac, but it's not purchased one either. So that's really the beautiful thing about it. It's definitely not that all. Sound like okay. Hmm. So yeah.
Yep. Facts. You
But
just
yeah,
reminded me.
I am just really so the gaming entire culture in and of itself. Do you guys have conferences, conventions? Like I know you have
Oh,
contests, but
tons of those. PAX does
really,
4 separate conferences, including one down in San Antonio in January. That one in San Antonio January, Boston's April, San Diego just passed. That was early September.
so they're all
And
over the
then PAX
country.
Australia. PAX Australia.
Australia?
Yes, there's PAX Australia.
Oh,
You have E3, which is our big geek out event, which is the Electronic Entertainment Expo, which is just like a big, huge showcase of games that we all actually sit and do podcasts and live casts and stuff like that, and all that stuff, including me. Yes, I do that stuff. It's on the channel. Look at it. um, you know, then you have the smaller ones, like Twitch itself has their own conference, TwitchCon. Certain games or certain game companies have their own, like BlizzCon, QuakeCon, shit. I know I'm forgetting the Tokyo Gaming Show. We just got the English Gaming Expo that just happened this weekend. Paris Gaming Week is coming up soon. Oh yeah, Gamescom in Germany is another big one that draws hundreds of thousands of people.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, it is a lot. GDC, the Gaming Developers Conference, where gaming developers come through and talk about the industry, like how you would go to your security convention. It's like
Right.
that,
Mm-hmm.
where like all the best minds or all the people who are involved in the get together and discuss how to improve
Okay.
the technology. So that
So
happens.
essentially, gaming is life.
Yeah. Hell, you live near one of the biggest gaming hubs in the country,
Where is that?
Austin, Texas.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thoroughly just color me tickled.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, well, I'm not into gaming, so of course I wouldn't have known it, but
No.
um
Yeah.
wow. Wow. Okay. I see you gamers.
Oh, and then see, we didn't even get into cosplaying, the other gaming subculture. Well, it's more of a
What?
nerd subculture, but gamers participate. You never heard of cosplaying before?
No.
Oh, I have to introduce cosplay. It's basically where people dress up like video game characters or any characters, comic books. It's a nerd culture thing. We'll get to that when we get to black nerds.
What is it called?
Cosplay. It's basically costume
Oh, you know
play.
what? You know what? I've always called that cosplay. Whatever I called it, it clearly wasn't the right word. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Educate me. Okay. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So people, there is depth to gaming. It's not just mindlessly sitting in front of something, twiddling your fingers.
You know, I knew that there was money to be made. I did not know that it was that much money to be made.
Billions.
To just sit and play. And I'd say to
Yeah.
just sit and play, but I, of course, don't mean just anything.
You know, that's why Shaquille O'Neal, Rick Fox, and all of them are starting their own esports brand.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they started their own esports companies because they want to tap into that money.
I'm sure.
Lucrative.
Right. And what a great way to do it. Now, I mean, and a great time too, especially when so much exposure is being brought to it. And wow, okay. Well, I am thoroughly, like I said, just color me impressed.
Good. See, and this is why you guys should talk to more gamers, and then you'll understand things better and won't treat them as bad.
Oh, well, I will say some of y'all are just flat out fucking weird, though. So,
Yes, I agree.
I mean,
'Cause I find a lot of gamers weird, and I'm a gamer.
yeah, some of y'all are just strange.
Yes, I cannot deny.
But, I mean, I guess we could say just as humans, some of us are weird. So, that should not detract anybody or stop anybody from hanging out with, say, a gamer or getting to know a gamer or, oh, nice. Well, I am pleased. I've learned a lot. Okay. Well, okay. Nice. Who knew, gamers? Who knew? I mean, y'all knew, but it really don't count for y'all because y'all knew. So,
Yeah. So now, ladies, feel free to date gamers and vice versa, man.
right.
Have fun with us. Trust me. Hi, Kyron.
Right. Do you hear him calling me?
Mm-hmm.
I keep telling him my name is Mimi. It doesn't. It hasn't fully. It hasn't fully um translated over. So I'm Mama. Um. Yeah, it's really weird when we're in the store too, and somebody's like, "Your son is so adorable." I'm a son.
I'll
That
bet.
is that is definitely my grandbaby. Your grandbaby, girl, yes. So let's not have too much fun. Um, okay, interesting. Now I'm gonna have to play some of these games, not necessarily see what the excitement is about, but just, for lack of a better word, to see what the excitement is about.
And if you don't want to play them, you could always go to places like Twitch and watch people play them. See what the story is about, or YouTube. They're there.
And they're making buku bucks off of this.
Yeah, some people are making quite a living.
Oh, okay. So do they get paid just by people watching, or do you have to pay to watch them play?
You don't pay to watch them play. You generate ad revenue because they play ads on your stuff, so you get it from there. They have options where people could subscribe to you. It's kind of like a monthly. You pay them. You give them. It's kind of like a monthly donation thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's perks. Is with a perk system to it. Like you get to have different icons and things like that, and benefits, whatever benefits the person wants to give you to it. And then people will just straight donate money. Like they will just say, "Here's $100. I hope you do well."
Okay, so let me ask you this. So if you subscribe to the channels, are the ads removed?
Yes.
But you have to pay to subscribe.
Yeah, it's like for Twitch, it's like $5 a month.
Oh.
Yeah.
That might not be a bad deal to get rid of those ads.
Right. And it's a 50-50 split with the people that you for the company and the people who you watch.
Okay.
Things like that. And of course some people like have giveaways, stuff that you can get and all that. And then of course if they become popular enough they get endorsements, which helps them. Well, and then some people sell merchandise as well. Like
so they get endorsements like
usually it's stuff
do.
Yeah. Like Mountain Dew supports a lot of gamers. Different phone companies do it. All types of stuff. Apparel companies, computer companies, of course, gamer related stuff. Who want them to help them promote and stuff like that. So they get money for that.
I never would have been endorsed. Oh shit! I should have been telling Trey to get on up there and play them games.
Why do you think I do the YouTube thing? Like I should be doing it more than I do, but I have reasons. But why do you think I started doing it? Because like it can grow into a thing where people just pay you to let people watch you. Like they want you to keep people watching you so they can sell their wares through you. They want you to support their wares.
Yeah.
It's like you see the makeup channels on YouTube. Those people get those things, like get promotions and from makeup companies. Yeah. And stuff like that to do their products and all that. Same thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, y'all better get out there and get those coins.
No, if you can make it, you can live a very lovely life. I just saw this one gamer post the other day that he bought a Tesla.
What?
He bought a Tesla.
Oh,
outright.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's how much money he making.
Wow.
Pay for it outright.
Okay. Wow, that's impressive just on that alone. Man, it's so much to just grasp and wow. I had no idea. Okay, gamers. Y'all got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Clearly, y'all know about it better than we do.
Yeah, but like we said in the beginning, if it's something that you're not into,
you just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like some people are not the least bit curious about how a computer works or how to program or anything like that.
Right.
I find it intriguing. I want to know how the computer is working and what makes it tick, so to speak. So, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, see, I've always been like that too. I always found different stuff fascinating that I don't know. I like knowing things I don't know and finding what
Right.
makes this interesting.
And I love not being the smartest person in the room. Um, that is just beautiful to me. Um, but yeah, wow. So there are people that have made millions off the gaming industry.
Yeah, like how old is the guy that I said that makes a $500,000 ninja? I think he's 28 now. So he's set for life. He could
Yeah,
retire. Once people
at
stop
any
watching him,
time.
he's good. He's like, I don't have to work for a living no more. So whatever. Right now, he's just
Right.
like, he's just padding his life.
And definitely if he's like making the right investments, he has the right money manager, if he has a money manager,
Yeah,
like
and I
all
think
of
his
that.
wife helps him with that too because she does a lot of stuff.
See? I think that's beautiful. And then I love the fact that he has his wife involved. So,
It's so funny because he does special events and he brings her along, and she sometimes ends up hosting them and all that. It's like she hosted his Las Vegas event for charity.
oh wow. That's nice.
Yeah, so she's getting checks cut to her. And his
Yeah,
best friend, he's getting him checks cut because he does some announcing and he goes with him, travels with him to different things. And like, yeah. And he met his best friend through gaming.
really.
Yes, his best friend lives in Nebraska. He lives in, I think, Michigan or Ohio. And they met while streaming together, playing the same game and stuff like that. And they got really cool. And now they travel together sometimes at events and get paid.
So is his friend like good at the games
Yeah,
or
that's the
is
guy who bought the Tesla.
oh shit. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
clearly.
So he had helped his friend come up.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So gaming isn't well, I mean, I always knew it. I just didn't know to what extent. So
Yeah.
that's just bananas though. Like legit bananas.
Yeah. It is.
Well, if anybody has any questions for Mike, shoot him because wow, I never would have guessed it. I mean, I just wouldn't have, but
Yeah. No, feel free to ask me anything you want about the gaming community and culture because it's a lot deeper than you thought.
by far, definitely. I mean, because who would have thought? But I mean, clearly somebody did because they have YouTube channels that are, you know, dedicated to it. So that's
Yep.
just crazy, though. These young men and women are out here making buku bucks by tapping into the industry that some people didn't think would even last long.
Yeah, definitely. It was supposed to be just a novelty thing.
Interesting. Okay, well, that's all the questions I have because this has blown my mind. I think it's definitely blown my mind.
Well, for those who listen, if you've had questions, have any questions about this subject, please ask them. And any questions at all that you want answered on the podcast, please send them to us. Our email addresses and all our contact information is in the description, so you can hit us up, let us know. Um, what do you want us to talk about? Um, well, hope you guys enjoyed. Um,
I
I'm
did.
assuming that I was about to say, assume that you enjoyed the
Boy,
conversation.
I definitely did.
So that's good. So yeah, definitely let us know what you want to hear from us, and we'll have some more podcasts coming sometime this week. We'll be recording again. Can't wait for those subjects because those are going to be probably
Some
better
good
than
ones.
this. Yeah,
No, this
much
one
better.
was, man, what? This one is kind of like a things you have no idea about. Like this one was good. I learned a lot, and I'm just like this totally thrilled that we did it.
I'm good. I'm glad.
Man,
Yeah.
y'all out here making coins like that, playing games. Come on over here. What?
Yeah, you want. So expect to see Katina on Twitch starting her career soon.
Right, right, right. Wow, that's fantastic though. Like, shout out to them. They now I'm gonna have to be more in tune to like watching people play and man. But can you imagine if like the guy whose wife helps him, if she ends up playing games and he teaches her?
He gets her to play sometimes, I think, because she has her own Twitch channel. She usually uses it for a cooking channel, but I think he gets her to play sometimes. I've seen people get their wives to play games with them sometimes. It's hilarious because they end up getting so into it.
Yeah. Now, see, that would be my fear because I have enough things going that I would end up being one of those that's like on all the time, trying to figure stuff out. Yeah, that would be my concern for me because I can totally see me saying, you know what, this is fun. This is dope. Let's, like, I can see that happening.
Hmm.
So, but don't worry, y'all. I'm going to be out there twitching it up.
Well, look for my live streams because I guess I could use this as a promo cut. I will be live streaming more lately because I'm getting ready for a charity event that I do every year called Extra Life. What it is it's a charity that was started. The inspiration was there was this little girl who had got terminal cancer, and she used to like playing a lot of video games, and her story got out. And so to help her cope with being in the hospital, trying to deal with this, people sent her a ton of the games that she said she would like to play. And Children's Miracle Network decided to take the idea along with their parents and in honor of her create Extra Life, which is a charity in which people play games of any kind, board games, parlor games, video games, whatever, to try to raise money. You'll see people throwing special events. If you go to extra-life.com, you'll get a list of like different people who participate. And once a year on November 3rd, there's National Game Day. It's 24 hours dedicated. Well, it's usually the first Saturday of every November. This year is November 3rd. And on that day, for 24 hours, they encourage people to play games of any kind in hopes of trying to raise money to help support the Children's Miracle Network so they can start to do more research for children's diseases and things like that. I've done it for the last 4 years. This will be my 5th year straight. My inspiration, of course, for doing it was because of my mom. My mom worked for a Children's Miracle Network children's hospital, for almost 30 years. And it was like a family place for her. People loved her to death. When she died, the president of the hospital, and tons of employees that I never even met, and some that I grew up with, came to her funeral, did this whole thing, and they did another ceremony in her honor at the hospital and all that. So, in dedication to my mom and to Children's Hospital for all that they did for my family, I decided every year I would, on the first Saturday of November, try to play games for at least 24 hours to raise money. My goal this year is $500. So we're gonna try to see if we can raise $500. I'll try to put my Twitch channel in the location and some more information about Extra Life and where you can donate. It's something that's really special to me. I've reached my goal a few times over the years, which has been phenomenal. And thank you to everybody
What's
who
your goal this year?
500.
Okay.
So thank you to everybody who's donated in the past. I appreciate it. I do have a streaming team that you can join if you want to help me raise that goal. That information will be there as well. It's called Team BJL. I named it after my mom. That's her initials. Yeah, that's what I do. I get on Twitch and I beg people to help out the Children's Miracle Network, which I think is a worthy cause because all children's hospitals in North America are public, and so they don't get federal funding. They fund themselves, and donations help a lot with what they do, to help kids. So it's definitely something that you want to try to donate to if you can. If you can't, let people know about it. Please, because we're trying to raise money for a worthy cause. So, yeah.
That is a very dope concept. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's fun. It's tiring, but it's fun. Like to just sit up there and try to and I also do incentives too. Like this year, thanks to Cardiacsumo, I had to do the Carlton dance.
Hey, come on.
Nah, it's no hey, because now it's immortalized on YouTube forever.
All
but
right. Shout
but no,
out to cardio. You good for
seriously,
something.
I'm looking for incentives for things that you want me to do. So if you have suggestions, let me know. If you will help me raise this money, I will embarrass myself. I have no problems embarrassing myself for charity because it's worth it. So
Wow.
there you go. I even did the Tonto the jump on it dance one year.
Shut up.
Yes, I did. I did it live.
What?
Yes. Hey.
How did I miss all this goodness?
This is what happens when you don't talk to gamers about what gaming can do. I guess I don't. Yes, it was. Oh God.
That's
The
all
things
right.
I did.
You are going to reach your goal, and I'm going to think of something very good for him to do, good people.
Oh Lord, jeez, I shouldn't have got her involved. There we go. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, it's going to be beyond fun. Like what? We are about to get this thing going. Wow. Well, good people. This is I did not know you did. Well, I mean, I knew you did the live streaming for the event yearly. I had no idea that it could be so entertaining.
Yeah, it can be.
It's on now. So you just have to reach your goal of 500, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think we can easily help you get that. And then next year, maybe get a group together of more gamers and, you know.
Yes. If you game, please hit me up and let me know if you're interested in any of this stuff.
Well, now I kind of wish I was a gamer. Don't worry. We'll get this thing to popping. All right.
Okay. All right. So I guess that wraps it up for this episode. Thank you again for watching. Again, you can find all our information in the description. So hit us up. Any questions? Anything you want to know? Before we go, what's your song of the week? I forgot that.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you.
No, Lord.
It's
Let's get
actually
ready.
good. So I have two songs. I have one that is typical me, and then I have one that is from 2011. But it's a country song, so I've been listening to that one. So, "Yearning" by Seven Streeter. I've been listening to that. And
I didn't think I would
like,
like her, but I do like her.
yes, and like there's no yesterday by Mark Wills.
Why does that sound familiar?
Oh, it's an awesome song.
All right, so I think we'll just use both of your songs for the intro and outro. Which you want to be the intro? Well, let's not say it because they're all gonna know by the time they get to this part anyway.
Right. But I'm gonna. Well, I can say it then.
Yeah, say it after we finish.
Yep, that works. All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. And see you next time on His Point Horu podcast. Take it easy.
Bye.
I see you looking salty, I say, 'cause my heart is yearning.